Hello, today I'm looking at Majjhima number 136, the MahaKammaVibhanga Sutta, and that's translated as the greater exposition of action. Now the location is Rajagaha in the bamboo grove in the squirrel's sanctuary. And the people mentioned are the Venerable Samadhi, the wanderer called Potalaputta, the recluse Gautama, or Buddha, or the Blessed One, the Venerable Ananda, and the Venerable Udayin. And to sort of set the scene for this sutta, there is a meeting between the wanderer Potaliputta and the Venerable Samadhi. And Venerable Samadhi's been a monk for about 3 years. Patulaputta says, I have heard directly from the recluse Gautama that bodily action is vain, verbal action is vain, only mental action is real, and then there is that attainment on entering which one does not feel anything at all. So I'll repeat that, and then there is that attainment on entering which one does not feel anything at all. So Venerable Samadhi replies that this statement misrepresents the Blessed One. Buddha would never speak thus. After doing action, friend Potaliputta, by way of body, speech or mind, one feels suffering as a result. So after this conversation, the new recluse Venerable Samadhi reported what was said to the Venerable Ananda, and Ananda suggests that they report the conversation to Buddha to see what he would say. So after exchanging courtesies with Buddha, they relay the conversation, to which Buddha replies that he has no recollection of meeting the wanderer Patuliputta, and that Venerable Samadhi's answer was misguided. To which the Venerable Udayin interrupts by saying, perhaps the Venerable Samadhi was referring to the principle that whatever is felt is included in suffering. To which Buddha says in response, addressing the Venerable Ananda, see how this misguided man Udayin interferes? I knew he would unreasonably interfere. If when this misguided man Samadhi was asked by the wanderer Patuliputta, he should have replied, after performing an action by body, speech or mind, whose result is felt to be pleasant, one feels pleasure. Having done an intentional action by way of body, speech or mind, whose result is painful, one feels pain. Having done an intentional action by way of body, speech or mind, which results in neither pain nor pleasure, one feels neither pain nor pleasure. By answering thus, the Venerable Samadhi would have given the wanderer Patulaputta the right answer. But who are these thoughtless wanderers of other sects that they could understand the Tathagata's great exposition of action? So I'm taking from these previous paragraphs that suggesting that Buddha is annoyed by having his teachings misrepresented, and especially annoyed when misrepresented by someone who was his own follower or followers. Then Buddha begins to explain the great exposition of action to the monks. There are 4 kinds of people that exist in the world. The kind who ignores all the precepts, killing, stealing, given to misconduct, speaking maliciously, is covetous, holds wrong view, and has a mind of ill will. After death, this person appears in a state of deprivation, even in hell. Again, there is the person who ignores all precepts, has a mind of ill will, and holds wrong view. After death, he appears in a happy destination, even in the heavenly world. Next, there is the person who follows the precepts. His mind is free of ill will, holds right view, and after death he reappears in a happy destination, even in the heavenly world. And then again, there is a person who follows the precepts, free of ill will, holds right view. After death, he reappears in a state of deprivation, in perdition, even in hell. So it is, Ananda, that some recluse or Brahmin attains such concentration of mind that with the divine eye, he sees that person who ignores the precepts and holds a wrong view, that after death reappears in a state of deprivation, even in hell. And this recluse or Brahmin says, there are evil actions, there is a result of misconduct. For I saw a person who killed living beings, ignored the precepts and held wrong view, and he, after death, reappeared in a state of deprivation, even in hell. And the recluse summarizes thus: after death, everyone who ignores the precepts and holds wrong view reappears in a state of deprivation, even in hell. Those who know thus know rightly. Those who think otherwise are mistaken. Thus the recluse or Brahmin obstinately adheres to what he himself has known, seen and discovered, insisting only this is true, everything else is wrong. However, Buddha continues, some recluse or Brahmin attains such a concentration of mind that with the divine eye, which is purified and surpasses the human understanding, he sees here a person who ignores the precepts, kills living beings, holds wrong view, that after his death, this person reappears in a happy destination, in a heavenly world. The recluse or Brahmin then thinks thus: there are no evil actions, there is no result of misconduct. For I saw a person who ignored the precept, killed, held wrong view, and after death reappeared in a happy destination, even in the heavenly world. And for the recluse, this he knows, only this is true, everything else is wrong. Then again, Buddha says, some recluse or Brahmin, who through concentration and by means of the divine eye, he sees a person who follows the precepts, abstains from killing, holds right view, who after death reappears in a happy destination, even in the heavenly world. So this recluse or Brahmin says thus: there are good actions, there is a result of good conduct, that a person who follows the precepts, holds right views, reappears in the heavenly world. Those who know thus know rightly, any others are mistaken. Only this is true, everything else is wrong. Buddha then goes on to exemplify the person who holds with the precepts, has right view, yet after death reappears in hell. The recluse or Brahmin who observes this through concentration and the divine eye then believes there are no good actions, there is no result of good conduct. Only this is true, anything else is wrong. So, Ananda, Buddha summarizes, when a recluse or Brahmin says there are evil actions, there is a result of misconduct, I grant him this, or I agree with this. When the recluse or Brahmin says, I saw a person who killed, who held wrong view, and after death he reappeared in hell, I also agree with this. But when a recluse or Brahmin says that everyone who kills and holds wrong view after death reappears in hell, I do not agree with this. Nor do I agree with the belief that those who thus know rightly, otherwise they are mistaken. Nor do I grant him the belief that those who thus know rightly, those that think otherwise, they are mistaken. And when they say, only this is true, anything else is wrong, I do not grant him this. And why is this? Because the Tathagata's knowledge of the great exposition of action is otherwise. Buddha then repeats his logical response for the next instance. Buddha does not agree there are no evil actions. there is no result of misconduct. Buddha does agree that an evil person can reappear in a happy destination, but does not agree that this can be universally applied, and that only this is true and anything else is wrong. Again, Buddha agrees with the proposal that there are good actions, there is result of good conduct, and that a person who follows the precepts and holds right view that after death reappears in a happy destination. But Buddha disagrees that these events happen to everyone who follows the precepts and holds right view, that only this is true, that those who think otherwise are mistaken. So, Ananda, Buddha continues, when a recluse or Brahmin says indeed there are no good actions, there is no result of good conduct, for he saw a man of good conduct and right view reappear after death in hell. This I agree with, but I do not agree this chain of events happens in all circumstances. Only this is true, anything else is wrong. Therein, Ananda, Buddha concludes, of the person who kills living beings, ignores the precepts, holds wrong view, and after death reappears in a state of deprivation even in hell, either earlier he did an evil action, or at the time of death he acquired and undertook wrong view. Because of that he reappeared in a state of deprivation even in hell. Of those bad actions he will experience the result of that either here and now, or in his next rebirth, or in some subsequent existence. So too, the person who holds the wrong view, kills, ignores the precepts, who after death reappears in a happy destination, either he earlier did a good action to be felt as pleasant, or at the time of death he acquired and understood right view. But since he has killed living beings, ignored the precepts, held wrong view, he will experience the result of that either here or now, or in his next rebirth, or in some subsequent existence. Then there is the person who abstains from killing, follows the precepts, holds right view. After death he reappears in a happy destination. Either earlier he did good action to be felt as pleasant, or at the time of death he acquired and understood right view. So after death he has reappeared in a happy destination, experiencing the result either here and now, in his next rebirth, or in some subsequent existence. And finally, the good person who does not kill, holds to the precepts, has right view, after death appears in a state of deprivation, even hell. Either earlier he did an evil action to be felt as painful, or later he did an evil action, or at the time of death he acquired wrong view. Because of that he reappeared in a state of deprivation. But because he was a good person, held right view previously, he will experience the result of that either here and now, in his next rebirth, or in some subsequent existence. So, Ananda, there is action that is incapable of good result and appears incapable of good result. There is action that is incapable of good result and appears capable of good result. There is action that is capable of good result and appears capable of good result. There is action that is capable of good result and appears incapable of good result. So that's one of these quadralemmas, so the 4 parts of the argument, rather than the Western dilemma, which only has 2 parts, or 2 propositions. So action incapable of good result and appears incapable of good result. Action incapable of good result and appears capable of good result. Action that is capable of good result and appears capable of good result. And there is action that is capable of good result and appears incapable of good result. This is what the Blessed One said, and the Venerable Ananda was satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. And that's the end of Majjhima Nikaya number 130, get this right, 6, yes, MahaKammaVibhanga Sutta. Thanks for watching.